Guys, immediate reaction to Spider-Man No Way Home.
We got back.
It's been a freaking journey of a
Spoilers.
night.
This is a spoiler reaction.
Spoiler. We're talking about everything. Nothing is being left unsaid. Well, hopefully not.
Johnny, your thoughts?
This movie is one of the best Spider-Man movies I've ever seen. Top 3 easily. Right now, Spider-Man 2.
Ain't no bottles.
No Way Home. Spider-Man 1. Top 3.
Yeah, he was screaming that this fixed.
We had like our theater was amazing. We had an amazing theater. Like the reactions. Like I'm like lost my voice a little bit because I screamed so much. But it was like
a lot of screaming.
Really? Yeah. Well, okay.
It's insane.
Tobey
Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Tobey Maguire.
Spider-Man in the film.
It's like it's crazy how we knew it was gonna happen.
It was
but
still good.
It's still.
Like, I don't know.
We've talked about this a little bit on our way to this point,
Hmm.
but I think what hit me the most was Andrew talking about Gwen.
Oh my
Andrew
god.
talking about Gwen or anything in his universe.
Yeah.
All the
Made me
interactions.
cry.
All
I
the
cried.
interactions. And one of my favorite reactions and interactions, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna reference is when Andrew cracked Toby's back. That was like
Good one.
one of the
Yeah.
funnest
Well,
moments of that
that's
movie.
just
I
like
loved it.
just seeing Toby and Andrew like interact anyways, like ever. Like
So-
just seeing
I
them
know.
literally like interact was just so insane.
It's crazy the time we live in, especially with as
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
is such a
fans.
tragic character. I can't get over that.
Oh,
It
I
makes me so
can I
sad.
Yeah,
should I jump into it?
Just jump.
Okay.
Jump.
Jump.
Those last 10 minutes of that film is perfect. That is the exact vision I had for MCU Spider-Man in college going forward,
yeah.
and they nailed it
See,
to a T.
I gotta say this because I was talking about this with Gibbs. This movie for me and Gibbs cements this is a amazing Spider-Man trilogy. Not to be confused with the Amazing Spider-Man, but this is a dope trilogy. Johnny here thinks, oh, Spider-Man sucks.
I still don't like Far From Home. No Way Home, like the end of No Way Home, like Peter living alone,
But that just
crafting his own suit.
That just means it was a good trilogy. Getting
Having
him
that sacrifice.
To this point. That just means it did its job of
I don't
building
think-
the MCU
I don't think
Spider-Man.
I think the only thing is
Because
like
clearly
the
from
end.
this movie we know that Uncle Ben he's not in the MCU. Aunt May is his
Mysterio
Uncle Ben.
Mysterio had a step in it, sure, but like again,
Uncle Ben.
don't like it as a
Aunt
movie.
May
I don't
is
know.
the Uncle Ben here. We watched a
That is true.
three movie trilogy. This has got
That's
more
another
character
thing. So
development
it
for Spider-Man
seems like
than we ever got.
just Uncle Ben is just not a big part of Peter's
not a-
life.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
Which
already-
is
Which
Which
is
is
died.
fine.
He's
It's
already-
fine, I
he was
guess.
already dead
But like
before-
it's
I feel like they like
interesting.
alluded to it a little, but now in No Way Home they
Yeah.
definitely cemented that like May is the role that Uncle Ben.
And for
filled,
me,
and she-
because Amy
she did
Pascal
great.
talked about how we're getting another trilogy,
Yeah.
that just makes the
Oh my
fact that we have like a build-up Spider-Man.
Again,
trilogy
those
with
last
Tom
10
Holland.
minutes were freaking
So good,
beautiful.
Like that, right? It just makes
Beautiful.
It better.
And I have to say to everybody, the last swinging shot of him in that nice suit that he
That
handmade,
suit was dope.
I want to see a
Yeah.
picture of that. I need to
know,
see
I
more of
did- I
that.
feel like
And
we
this
didn't get
suit,
What an
quite a
action
look at
figure.
I was anyways.
Too tall.
Too much going on.
I know there's
So
much from my head.
So that where he was swinging over in New York, and I cannot think of the place. Like it's the ice rink. Anybody know what it's called? Rockefeller Center.
Rockefeller
I think that is where the finale of Hawkeye will be taking place as well. And it's the same time,
If
right
we see
right before
Spider-Man
Christmas.
fighting Kingpin-
I'm not saying that, but
But
like it is interesting
Okay,
that they
speaking
showed
of
the
Kingpin-
exact same
speaking of
thing.
Kingpin,
Anyways.
most disappointing part about the movie: Matt Murdock in it for 30 seconds.
Matt Murdock wasn't.
and everyone was cheering.
That was
over
a huge
all of
moment.
his dialogue.
I know,
So
it's-
it was just him. I'm looking at him as people were going, ah, and then he's gone, and then he
Yeah.
never came back.
It was interesting that
Never came back.
they set up some kind of court case. Like obviously, like they brought Charlie in. Like it's like they brought Matt in.
It kind of ticks me off.
And
Like,
then they never paid it off after. Like,
Like,
after
yeah.
that scene, they did not bring up that case
It
ever.
must
like,
have been something
after.
that
I mean, I think that, but now it cements
'Cause
that
we
he-
know, but, like,
he is in the MCU.
from-
Like he is a character that's
yeah,
going to
I
be
mean,
continuing.
but
in the
I'm saying
MCU.
his plot line.
I
in the
wonder if
movie
that was a
sucked.
false report because like it just because we knew that they filmed a
It got
courtroom
cut.
scene.
It probably
I feel
got
like a
cut.
ton of stuff got
Got
cut.
cut,
I feel
yeah.
like this movie has mad deleted scenes. Like, there's
That's
probably
certainly
so much
possible.
That happened in this, like, that they took out.
But man, oh man, seeing Charlie again. I mean, like after Kingpin a couple days ago, and now this, it's like,
They're building the
Daredevil
Ugh.
verse.
and the thought of seeing again that Tom at the end of this movie with Daredevil, Charlie Cox,
Let's
the image of that in my head.
Yeah. We gotta. Let's talk about the villains. So
Breaking
the
Please.
villains, I think the biggest thing, the biggest complaint I heard going into this, especially on our channel, was how are they going to make the villains compelling? Because in their universes, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they?
Some were much
why would
better
they
than
be mad?
others. That's what I'll
And
say.
for the most part, the people they kept it consistent. Like
Yeah.
they are the same.
They are the
characters
same
from
characters, yes.
from their different verses. So Sandman is like, I'm with her. At the beginning, he's like, I'm good, and then Electro is, it's
And
he's
seeing
changes-
Andrew interacting with Electro and
Yeah.
like,
Like, it's
and
all-
Toby with
so that
Doc
and that wasn't
Ock.
a problem. And Doc Ock was good. Like they fixed the inhibitor
Yeah.
chip, and he's fixed.
And
like,
I mean, these were very much movies like for fans of those movies because it,
Yes.
it relies on the knowledge of the characters.
We've been
that
watching-
these villains' arcs went through.
Bring it up.
we've been watching the Spider-Man movies before to get ready for this.
Yes.
And the number one thing that Johnny's always going by is like, look at the shots, look at the way the action is. You can't get this
In the Raimi
MCU.
movies, I mean,
But then in this movie, dude, the action was nuts.
Yeah, it
beautiful.
translated.
Green
they
Goblin
killed it.
was nuts.
And we're not even talking necessarily about the final fight. The fight in
Both of them. when
Happy's
he's
apartment building
slamming him through
Yeah,
the
that was
floors and the
great.
with Green
walls.
Goblin and Peter.
Oh my god.
Oh my god,
so
Yeah.
good.
so unbelievably good.
Look at us, bunch of nerds talking about a comic book thing. Bunch of all new nerds.
It managed to be like I don't want to say a small story, but like it's a Spider-Man story. It's like
But it
it's
is
friendly
contained.
neighborhood
You got the
Spider-Man.
Sandman walking in through Happy's door cam, and he's like, "What is this, a mud man?"
It
Like,
ends, and
Mudman.
the only one really affected is Peter.
and I called
Seeing,
this. I
like-
said this. I
Seeing
said they're all
like
gonna
Tom
forget.
Holland and Willem Dafoe working on like a project together in Happy Hogan's apartment. Never would have thought we could have gotten that. It's just, it was very interesting. That was
Do you
that
think-
that moment hit me. That I
Do
was
you
like,
think you would let me?
And
go?
Willem
What did he
Dafoe
say? It's just
was
insane, man.
terrifying again.
You think I would go?
The way he like smiled, like he had that Goblin
Peter.
smile again. Like he got right back into it. He fell right back into it. That felt like Goblin, and like
You have to make a
the
choice.
and then the fight at the end, the fight at the way end on the
shield.
on the
It's
shield.
the shield, man. That's so
Yeah.
cool. I had that thought in the theater. Is I'm watching Raimi Green Goblin fight Tom Holland's Spider-Man on Captain America's shield, giant shield that was being put on the Statue of Liberty because he sacrificed himself. He fighting Thanos and he got old and died. I'm like, that's an insane thing that we saw all of that stuff on
I
screen.
like, and Peter was gonna kill him, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And then Toby stopped him. They're like,
I love that. I love how he didn't play. I have expected him to like just the movie cliche where they go like an inch away from their head or whatever, not do it. But I'm really glad
No,
he
he
was
was
going
going- he was
to
going for the
totally
kill.
fall through it.
He's going
Fall
for the kill.
through with it. Yeah. And
I-
Toby and Andrew, who have been at that point, where like
they
you can't-
all, that's what makes it even better. Is they
Yeah.
all been at that point, and like, and I love Toby being the kind of like, I mean, obviously he's the
dad.
oldest Peter, and like he would just he was like helping Andrew because Andrew was just like shitting on himself, and then Toby was trying to
He's
pick
like,
him
"No,
back
you're
up.
amazing."
He's like, no, you're amazing. Say it, you're amazing. He's like, thank you, I
and
appreciate
it
that.
just like seeing those like we
They were
those
talking
characters in
shop, they were
Tom
talking
just,
shop.
like talking about like
Talking Peter shot.
They were
know.
talking
Yeah,
shop,
exactly.
Spider-Man shop. It
Right,
was just,
yeah.
it was so like, yeah. It,
Amazing.
I mean, it's a lot like Spider-Verse, but like they really need like those are the only one people.
it
that can
felt
really
very
relate
different
to
than
them,
Spider-Verse, though. I feel like.
No, it did feel very different.
Yeah.
But especially Toby and Andrew, who clearly don't have like other heroes in their universe.
Right.
It really felt like they needed other.
Yeah, the
heroes to,
Avengers
like,
bit when Toby
talk
was
to.
like,
The
"Oh, you don't need the
Avengers?
Avengers?
What's that?
What's that?"
What's
Yeah.
Yeah. they
Uh,
didn't know.
It's cool.
Yeah, and like in their entrances, oh my god, I just keep thinking about
Yeah.
the theater reaction,
People were
like
losing it.
losing my mind.
There will be lots of dialogue that I will pick up on the second time around because of
We're
how loud.
and we're seeing it again.
we're
Yeah,
seeing it again.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be
Um,
seeing it again.
But Jamie Foxx, he was fine. He wasn't my favorite, to be honest.
Who was
wasn't,
your
like,
favorite villain out of all, other than Greek Goblin?
Well-
Because I feel like you guys really like Green
mean,
Goblin.
Alfred
Doc
Blaine,
Ock,
Doc Ock,
I mean,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
he's-
second. I don't know.
He was so good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I Lizard and Sandman were definitely kind of backseat villains, which I was fine with and I kind of expected. So, but I do feel like everybody got their appropriate time.
Lizard
didn't-
was a little bit weird.
Lizard was
Lizard-
had some weird scenes, like when he's in the back of that feast truck and he's
Yeah,
way
just
down, he
being
goes,
stored.
So it begins.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
like,
something
what-
was
what?
like gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like, what are you
with
talking
him.
about,
And-
Lizard?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was gonna start.
I know.
something.
He
And
didn't.
Well, I mean, he knew.
It
He knew
doesn't
something was
matter.
gonna
It was
happen.
still
Anyways,
amazing. It was,
but yeah, I do feel like everybody got their appropriate screen time. I think they nailed it with that too.
Yeah,
I
I think,
man.
and it's weird. I feel like Sandman had a lot of good scenes toward the beginning of his time, and then when they were at I mean,
Well, because he's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
It's
yeah.
the reason he wasn't as much.
It's,
He's not a
it's
bad
like
guy.
he turned back to Flint Rockwell or what?
Friend
Flint.
Marco.
Yeah,
Flint
Flint Marco,
Rockwell.
and then
Flint
like
Rockwell.
they're just like, okay, let's move.
Yeah,
on.
it
Which is
was
fine. That's
interesting
how
that they
they
had him in the
usually do it.
sand form for like the whole movie because like,
Well, I guess because
We
he
got
turned
the
the
Ken
sand.
theater
turn-
clap for the green shirt.
but he
It's
can
fine.
turn like I know that's a shirt.
But I think it's because
yeah.
he turned like I don't know. I
Doesn't
guess,
matter.
He has that ability. It's just weird
Yeah,
that they
it
didn't.
was.
Anyways,
I think we'll talk about this movie a lot more.
we're
on our
gonna
channel.
yeah.
You're not.
This
gonna
is
hear
just
the-
immediate.
but
This
Johnny,
we're doing another
not gonna hear the
more
Well, I have a
and more.
question for you
We're
guys
doing
now.
more
I
with
know we're
this.
on this high, but was there anything about this movie you didn't care for.
Venom.
Oh, the Venom end
after
credit scene was absolute
I mean, that's a-
garbage.
yeah, well, I just-
wasn't
it
very good.
took me out of the movie.
I think I'm the only Venom
Took
fan
me-
here.
yeah.
What I don't like is not. I don't like that it was not even in the movie. That's why
Doctor
I-
Strange trailer looked amazing though.
It felt cheap.
Doctor
Yeah,
Strange.
that's a
trailer
whole
looked
different video.
amazing.
That's a
Yeah.
whole
All
different
right,
video.
we just wanted to give our immediate reaction thoughts.
2 thumbs up.
Guys, let us
the
know
thumbs,
what
like-
you
like
thought of
those.
Spider-Man No Way
If
Home.
you got anything out of this video,
Yes.
we're just rambling.
Chaotic video as usual, but
Chaotic.
yeah.
Definitely
Thank you
chaotic.
guys, and we will see you
On
very
the
soon.
next one.